Now, we are very happy this morning to welcome back into studio Richard Peirce, a man who takes conservation very seriously, both in the ocean and on land. But before we chat about his newest publication, which looks majestic, let's go back in time as we were lucky enough to meet Richard on a very special occasion and share this very feel-good story.
On Saturday, the 15th of December 2012, the Inverdoren Game Reserve was a location for a historic event, the return of a long-lost resident to the Klein Karoo. The stars of the day were two rescued orphaned elephants, 26-year-old Bully and 12-year-old Induna. They became friends at the rehabilitation centre Elephants of Eden. For 6-ton Bully and 3.5-ton Induna, the 700-kilometre journey from Port Elizabeth to Ceres would be their last big trek. For captivity-born Bully, having lived a difficult life in the film industry, this would be his first free steps in existence. And with these giant steps, an African champion once again walks the Klein Karoo.
Oh man, Richard, how does that make you feel, man?
I can still remember that exactly. I still remember how I felt, you know.
Oh,
yeah.
It was beautiful. I just remember we put our GoPro down there and of course Bully went straight to the GoPro.
Yes.
And messed around. But what a beautiful soul. And of course, you've walked that journey with him.
Yeah.
I have to ask, because when we first met, I was blown away to find this guy from the other side of the world who has taken this passion to that degree. Why do you do what you do? What drives you?
Never grew up, really.
Well, you're a good company then, yeah.
Always been in love with animals, and, you know, I've done sharks for the last 25-odd years, I guess. But conservation doesn't pay, so I have to write books.
And conservation needs this kind of support as well. What was it about Bully's story that attracted your attention? Why tell this elephant's narrative?
It was that day, really. Damien knew an awful lot about his animal, but there was clearly a huge amount he didn't know.
Yeah.
So I thought, hey, there may be a really interesting story here. And when I started looking at the other elephant, Duna, it was even more interesting. So, and they complemented each other. Just a great, wonderful, human, that's a contradiction, isn't it? Elephant story. Look at this.
Let's hope we can be a bit more elephant in that case. And he really is a beautiful, beautiful specimen of a creature. This story comes from the elephant's narrative, though. Talk to me about that dynamic. What was it like telling that story? What can we get out of it as a reader of the book?
I hope to appeal to perhaps not just animal people.
Yeah.
So tell an exciting, fast story. Not exactly from the elephant's point of view, but kind of. So I've kind of tried to look at it from the elephant's point of view as well. And then I get to the end, and I talk about where the elephant is today in terms of the threats to elephants and etc.
And this is a success story that took a huge amount of resource, a lot of passion from people, but it's one of very few success stories in the conservation world. Why do we need to be taking notice now? Just how bad is the situation for elephants specifically? It's bad.
It's bad. I mean, somewhere between one every 15, 20 minutes, elephants being killed on the continent of Africa. And we're probably around about the tipping point where we're moving into negative territory. We're killing more than are being born. No one quite knows, because no one quite knows the population exactly. But we're heading for real trouble for these guys. And these are amazingly intelligent human animals.
I mean, the love, the empathy that we see them giving each other just in this particular story between Bully and Induna. I love the fact that they look after each other and they keep each other sane.
Bully really does, eh? Induna would be completely lost without Big Brother. Absolutely zeroed.
Now, you've proven that you are a big brother to conservation. This is something that you have adopted in a way that most of us, I think, dream of. Why is it so important for us as normal people now to put our hands up? Why do we need to be joining the fight?
2 or 3 years ago, the WWF and ZSL produced a figure that still sends a shiver down my spine. We've lost 50% of this planet's wildlife in the last 40 years. Now, I don't know what the age in the studio is, but there's people who are 40, so in their lifetimes, bam, a blink of an eye, we've lost 50% of the planet's wildlife. So we must all care. And I have a belief that if we move too far away from the natural world, and too far away from being part of the natural world and interconnecting with the natural world, we just move slowly towards where humans shouldn't be anyway. Yeah. We are animals. We are animals.
We exist in the same
And we're not the only
system,
animals with a right to be here. They have a right to be here as well, so do all the other species.
Oh, well, this goes a long way to telling that story and driving that point home. Richard, thank you so much for all of your efforts.
Wonderful
Great to be
be
able
here.
to
Thanks.
connect with
Thanks.
you again. Well, conservation is something that we can all help with. We prove that every day on this show. So in that honor, we are giving away 5 copies of Giant Steps. All you have to do is SMS the word elephant, your name and city to 33728. That's elephant, your name and city to 33728. And of course, you can find all the terms and conditions on expressoshow.com, and no free SMSs apply. Now, a closing conservation quote from Sir David Attenborough. The question is, are we happy to suppose that our children may never be able to see an elephant except for in a picture book? Some wise, wise words.